Good evening. Welcome to another cast of VRML Orion Adrift. Today we'll be casting an exciting game. We have Meteorite and a Solar FS. My name is Martin, and today I have, of course, Alpha Foxtrot in the casting booth with me today. I believe it is your debut VRML cast. How are you feeling about that?
I am so excited for this matchup. This is going to be a cosmic debut between Solar FS and Meteorite. I think one of the teams has a match in already, but since we're in week one, we really get to see how each of these team strategies and how their rankings shape up. So it should be very exciting.
Yeah, it'd be fun to see, and to your point, right, even one of them already has a score, so you can see them already being ranked 21. We'll see how things change later on in the season as more and more games come under their belt. And reminder to everyone, right, when you play games, your MMR is going to go up and down depending on that, right? If you lose your matchup, you're going to lose some MMR. If you win your matchup, it's going to go up. And there's some changes in there depending on how strong the other team is, right? If they're the first team in the league and you lose to them, the MMR loss, from my understanding, is not as in game, and they beat you by a huge mercy. That's going to be a really huge mercy. That's going to be a really big deal. So it'll be fun to see how these teams do shape out. Meteorite and Solar FS, I don't think I really know any of these teams, so it'll be cool to see what's going on. And I think that's the most exciting thing about this first inaugural season. So many people got their first time access to 44, so we'll see some potentially some new standout teams coming up for these ones. But I mean, Meteorite and Solar FS, let me showcase to them that they are ready to get the game going. But we've been waiting here. I'm gonna be honest, very punctual team. Most teams I've seen thus far have not been here right on time. They were here 15 minutes ahead of time, which is kind of insane. And it looks like we'll be getting started pretty soon here, coming in around the one, Alpha.
So exciting for round one. The ball is placed. We're starting in 5 seconds here. I'm thinking it's going toward pink. What side do you think it's going toward?
And it looks like you're already wrong. As it looks like, I think Chris already with a hand on the ball, looking for a potential passing option. Goes the Rage. He misses, though, going a little too wide as Merxio trying to keep that possession for their team, trying to keep it there. But Fancy is going to be able to come in and get that great interception, but it does get picked up by Solar. A lot of turnover right now.
Yeah, Solar's got the ball back on their side, goes for a little bit of a cross pass, but doesn't quite connect. It looks like Chris is going to be there to try to pick it up, but Fancy Fly does manage to take it high and now has a breakaway over on that left-hand side. They're bringing it in toward goal, up a pass toward Ness. There's a shot opportunity, and it's just a bit wide. Looks like Solar's going to pick it back up now and take it down for another attempt.
Yeah, Digger trying to setting it deep, but Chris able to come in and get that interception. Coming down, going for the shot. Never mind. Gets picked up by that defender last second by Ray. It looks like Merxio trying to keep possession as Mitt able to come in, help out their teammates. And, it's interesting to see these two teams. A lot of contention right now between both sides, trying to maintain possession, trying to go for a goal-scoring opportunity. And we just haven't quite seen any good shots yet. Everyone's been getting tackled almost last second as Mid coming in for a last attempt. Takes a shot there. That's me, Mid. Finally getting a goal on the board for Solar FS.
An excellent passing play between the players on Solar FS there. We're going to see how Meteorite tries to respond. Zyko's going to take the ball high, looking for a pass now, looking left, looking right. Tries to go for a shot, but it is taken by Chris and sent back down for what looks like a long shot, but it's not quite going to connect. Bouncing off of Nest there. Mitt's going to go back for a pass back to their own team, and Raggedy manages to just snag the ball, keeping possession for them on this Meteorite side, keeping him on the defense. Murillo now with the ball going underneath Bridge, looking for a pass, tries to connect with Nest. Oh man, still manages to keep control of the ball, but it is finally picked up by Fancy and slapped out. Chris with the ball now going back toward the middle, intercepted by Raven. We're going to go for a clear all the way back down to the Solar side.
Yeah, it's flipping a little bit of geometry. Not quite going into the bounces that they had expected, but Chris is now going to be able to maintain possession for Solar. Going for that deep pass over the mid. I'm surprised I was able to make it to them in time as they're playing now off the top, off of Donut, going over the Merxio. But two defenders are right on their neck there and, adding a little bit of pressure for the Solar players. It looks like Meteorite trying their best to really keep this attacking play from developing. And I mean, 1-0, 2 minutes left on the clock. There's still a lot of time for both of these teams. Still a lot of time for Meteorite to finally make a response, but just think about the amount of time Solar's gotten the shot. Another one in there by Solar. The amount of times they've gotten these shots, they have been doing very well. They have a lot of, I think, offensive pressure against Meteorite.
Absolutely. We're going to see how Raven is going to respond as the QB gets an excellent pass off to Dagger, but it doesn't quite connect. Ball's now back in the middle in the hands of Solar as they move up for another play. Jumping off of Nest, going for a pass over to Mitt, and the shot is just to the right of the goal there, but Mercio manages to keep it and go for another shot attempt. How many shot attempts can we get? That's 1, 2, 3. Mitt with the ball now up high, looking for somebody down on Logo or on Nest. Manages to connect over to Rave, and it is intercepted by Zyko from Meteorite. Tries to send it back out, but Mitt picks it up once again, and the offense just does not stop from this Solar team. Raven now does finally manage to get possession, taking it up on the left-hand side and looking for a pass all the way down to the other side of the field. It's blocked by Mercio there, and Raggedy now has the ball, taking it back down to the other side. This offense on the Solar FS team just doesn't quit.
Yeah, they've just been hammering that Meteorite defense, and they've done a good job at trying to hold it back, but when you have so many goal-scoring opportunities, at some point, one of them is going to slip in, as Chris now coming in for another final attack, I believe, mid and left, but it looks like, again, those defenders on the Meteorite side are doing so good. I got to give them credit. They're doing such a good job, but they just haven't been able to develop much on their own offensive pressure, right? We're not seeing as much attacks from Meteorite. They keep getting shut down fast, and really this whole game, I think, it's just been watching Solar attack.
Absolutely. There was a little bit of a double up there now, but it does look like Solar's able to keep the ball, and they're going in for another attack. An excellent leading pass off of Nest there. Going for maybe a high goal. Not quite successful, but this attack is just going on and on and on. Ball does finally make it into the hands of Zyko for Meteorite, who's taking it back down the other direction. Everybody's diving on the ball there in the trench, and it's Mitt who comes out successful with it. For Solar, gives it a nice reset pass over there to Chris, who sends it into the corner once again on the Meteorite side. Rave now for Meteorite, taking it up on the high side, but Murillo gets their hands on it, looking to take a shot. It's a real slow one, and it is blocked by Dagger, but it, oh man, another shot on goal. It's blocked by Zyko. I will say the defense for Meteorite is rock solid right now, as they're trying to defend after shot, and one does finally slip through, making that 3-0 at the very end of our first round.
Yeah, that's going to be giving another point on the board for Solar FS here. 3-0, looking really good for them in this first round. We saw a lot of gameplay from them in that last round. Any standout plays you would notice from either team? Any standout strategies?
The passing game over on the Solar side is definitely coming together for them. The defense from Meteorite has been pretty solid, but when you've got those passes back and forth and you're able to lure some of those players out of the defense, it opens that goal up for you for a one-on-one where the offensive team, of course, has the advantage.
Yeah, looking really good. We're coming now into a round 2 pretty soon here for both of these teams. And right now, you know, Meteorite is kind of on that disadvantage. We got to see if they can hold themselves back or not. Otherwise, I'm kind of worried for them.
Well, they're going to have another shot at it here in 5 seconds. We're going to see which way the ball flies for this second round. It heads over toward the blue side, the Solar side. Mitt's picking it up now for them and heading straight down the field. But once again, that defense forms really quickly back underneath for Meteorite. Mitt's looking for a pass, connects over to Raggedy right above the goal, looking for another pass over to the side, and it does finally connect with Chris, who's able to take the ball back across, back over the middle, trying to go back in for something, looking for anything to open up as they just rotate that ball around and around on the Meteorite side.
Looks like Rave going in for that deep pass to Dagger. Dagger looking for another potential passing option. Moves up, playing on top of the arena. Goes for that deep pass over to Zyko. Zyko takes a shot, though. Finally, a point on the board right now for the Meteorite players. Looking a little bit better, I think, than their previous round.
Yeah, don't underestimate that time between matches. You can strategize, you can call out how your attack's going to be on the other team, and now we're going to get to see for the first time how Solar responds out the gate with the ball in their hands. Pass over to Murillo on the side of the bridge, and it almost gets knocked out of their hand, but Chris picks the ball back up, going for another shot, and now ties up the match at 1-1 for 1 point on the Solar side.
Yeah, 1-1 right now for both of these teams. Solar, though, trying to showcase, hey, that first one wasn't a fluke. Maybe we could win out this second round, but I think Meteorite, maybe they're trying to showcase themselves. Hey, that was just a warm-up round. We could come back here, as it looks like already on the attacking half again for Meteorite. They got to really hold this defense down as Solar FS once more on their attacking half.
all three of the Solar players right there on logo, and they do manage to spread out a little bit now and get that pass off over to the other side. It looks like the ball's coming through sewers now, back in the hands of Meteorite. We're going to see another shot attempt, but that ball is knocked out as Meteor is knocked out, and Chris now is coming back over the top, looking for another pass right over the top of Ness. It is stopped by Zyko, and Fancy Fly now takes the ball, looking for a little reset maybe, but it doesn't quite connect. The Meteorite team is now going to have a little bit of time to try to reset that ball back on their side. We see it go up to Raven in the middle, over to Dagger on the side, little bit of a bounce off of that geometry, and oh man, ends up right back in the hands of Solar, who's going for a long shot. Not quite there, but it is followed up by Murio, and that makes it 2-1 for Solar.
2-1. I mean, that long shot attempt was so close. If they had only dialed it in just a little bit more, it would have been a great clip for them. But hey, still a good follow-up nonetheless by their Solar teammate, as Meteorite now trying to get this attack, trying to respond to Solar. I'm hoping we can see a little bit more pressure, more offensive pressure from the Meteorite players. As again, they already have one goal on board, more than they did in the previous round.
All right, we see the ball rack in the hands now of Solar, going for another offensive attempt on goal here. Raven manages to get the ball, goes for that long shot attempt on their side. That looks like it. Oh, it's so close. It misses just a bit outside on the left there. Mitt now taking the ball high for that Solar team with a nice clear all the way down to Murio, who's in the middle, ready for a pass over to Raggedy. Raggedy's going to take the ball over across the bridge, over to Chris, back to Mitt, and that kind of rotation right there that we're seeing, that's what's making this so special. And it is finally thrown in by Raggedy to make it another point in the scoreboard for Solar.
Yeah, Solar 3-1. I will say, sorry y'all, the asset did mess up. It's only 1 point right now on the board for Solar. Maybe we'll see if they get a second one here, as they are doing a really good job against Meteorite. But hey, Meteorite has been making responses. Finally, a shot coming out there from Meteorite, looking really good right now. 2-3, trying to get closer, trying to cause this equalizer between both of these teams.
All right, we're going to see once again now how Solar starts out with his ball. Looks like Chris is going to be the QB this time. Looking for a couple high passes, looking to maybe solo it, going all the way in on the shot, doesn't quite make it, with Raven taking the ball out for another very, very long cross-field shot, super close to the goal, but Mitt is going to pick it back up on the Solar side. It's going to be a little skirmish between Mitt and Fancy over in the corner there. We'll see who comes away with the ball, and it looks like it is Mitt who gets a clear off to Murio, back on the left-hand sidewalk for that team there. Murio's going to dribble it up, looking for a pass off to Raggedy. Let him off by just a little bit too much as everybody dives for the ball there, back in the Meteorite corner.
That indeed, taking for a final shot. 30 seconds on the clock. Solar FS, all they got to do is hold down this possession, hold down, and maybe get a final shot attempt and basically secure themselves the win, because they don't want to give Meteorite the possession at all. They don't want to give them any chances to cause an overtime and force this forward and maybe get their own winning round. But I will say, Meteorite looking a lot better than their previous round. 2 points up. Solar, though, looking just as good. 3 points in, 10 seconds on the clock. Here's Chris coming in for the final attempt, but it does get picked up by that defender, and it looks like Rave maybe they have one last chance to cause something to work here, as Dagger themselves going for the cross pass, looking for another pass over the Zyko, but it does get dropped, and unfortunately it's going to be going the way of Solar FS. I just thought for a split second there, maybe we could have seen a good overtime.
For those of you who are just tuning into Orion Drift and may not be as familiar with the rules, once that timer ends, you have until the ball touches the ground again to try to score that last goal. So that's what we were trying to see from Meteorite, was if they could keep that ball up, they could get it all the way down the field, but it did hit the ground right as they crossed over onto the Solar side and put that round to bed.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good showcase from both teams. It showcases, hey, maybe Meteorite can force this to a best of 5, right? Remember, this is a best of 5 series. Solar FS only needs to secure this third round to win this out and get things done earlier. But if Meteorite gets even one round in the pocket, they'll force us at least to a round 4, maybe even a round 5 if they really lock in. But we'll have to see if that happens as we come into now round 3 for Solar and Meteorite. And again, sorry y'all, it does have a mess up. Solar only has 2 wins, not 3 right now. But we'll see what happens after this round as the ball goes live.
Heads on over to the Meteor side, and it is Chris who picks it up for Solar, coming in for a high shot. It is blocked by Zyko. Oh man, but the follow-up from that Solar team there, always that follow-up, manages to get the ball in the goal, making it 1-0 right off the bat for Solar. Looks like Sky now is going to pick it up on the Meteorite side, taking it over on the left. That's a new one. Underneath Sewers, looking for a pass high there, and it gets intercepted by that Solar team, who puts it back in the hands of Chris as they send it back across the mound, looking for something to connect up here. Murray over to Chris. Chris down for a backwards hand slap, but that shot doesn't connect as the ball bounces free back toward the middle of the field.
SkyCloud now playing off the top, trying to go for a potential passing option. Does get picked up by those defenders, but that is going to be an unfavorable bounce. But it doesn't matter, as their raggedy teammate able to come in and help them out for the time being. Playing off a Cloud now, looking for that passing option. Goes for the crossover to mid, just going a little too wide though. Unfortunately, does miss their hands. As Fancy can be able to push the ball forward, have his possession to go for the shot. And no, you gotta make those. And this is something I've noticed in this game. In particular, both of these teams have had great long shot opportunities, but they have been unable to capitalize on them.
Absolutely. We see the ball back in the hands of Raggedy now, but Fancy's going to swat it out. I don't think they saw Fancy there. Trying to get it back to their teammates in the middle. The Meteorite team does still have position. Zyko now taking the ball up forward, and it's just stolen right out from under his nose by Chris. Going back over across the bridge on their side, looking for something up on Nest maybe, but Drag manages to block that attempted pass back out. Ball's loose now, and it is Mitt from Solar who picks it up, looking for something in the middle. Oh man, this skirmish in the middle is going crazy right now. Looks like Fancy's going to have an opportunity with an open goal maybe. Nope, but it is Chris who manages to get the speed and is all the way back on that side, able to block that shot before it can develop.
SkyCloud now coming off the top, goes for the open shot, but Chris almost clearing it, but it doesn't matter. That shot was too wide and unfortunate again for the Meteorite players. They're having better goal scoring opportunities, but they've been slacking on the finishing here, Alpha. I mean, what do you expect them to do in this current round? Can they finally lock in, or are things just not going to quite work out in their favor?
Well, we're only halfway through the round, and it's only 1-0. We are still seeing a lot of possessions from the Solar team on this side. Here's one right now with Mario going for a backwards shot, and it doesn't quite connect. But there is still plenty of time for Meteorite to be able to make some plays happen and maybe send this back into their favor. We see Raggedy in the middle now, tries to get a pass off to Mitt in the very front there. Ball ends up in the hands of SkyCloud for Meteorite, trying to send it back over to that side, but the attacks just do not stop from this Solar team. Looking for something on Nest maybe. It's Murio, and they just missed to the outside, but attempt after attempt does finally pay off, bringing it up to 2-0 for Solar.
You know, I saw someone in the comment, they said Meteorite just needs to support their teammates. And, you know, I'm starting to feel that, right? There's so many times where they're so close to really getting that goal-scoring opportunity, but it's just not working out in your favor. But Solar is a different kind of team. We're seeing so much passing back and forth, a lot of connections. That chemistry is really kicking in, and right there is my point showing up perfectly. Was 2-3 passes in a row and a beautiful finish there.
There's something we see a lot in public matches is the solo meta, right? But when you get to this level of gameplay, trying to do this without relying on your teammates just doesn't quite work anymore. We see right there, SkyCloud had some opportunities to pass. That was costing their team once again. Manages to go over to Chris, who goes for that open shot, and that is successful. So once again, we see demonstrated, you know, that passing method definitely seems to pay off a little more than the soloing.
Right, I mean 4-0 right now. Solar FS, I think it just showcases the team that honestly does have a little bit better chemistry than the other. Do you remember which team was the one that had a game already in the pocket?
Yeah, this is Meteorite's first game. So Solar does have that one game under their belt. It was an 18-0 win when I checked on it, so that might have been a forfeit. But, you know, depending on how much you practice and how much scrimming you've done can make all the difference with your chemistry. And we see it right there as the score goes up to 5-0 for Solar in the last minute of this match.
Yeah, 5-0, 40 seconds on the clock. I'm almost scared. I'm wondering, can they hold it back? Can they hold his defensive pressure against them? Because we don't want to be seeing a Mercy. That's going to be hard on Meteorite. It's going to be hard on their MMR, but a payday, really, for Solar FS if they can. It sounds like have 2 games in the pocket already won. One of them played out, I think, very well. They've been performing very well as a team. The Meteorite, that's not to say that they aren't a good team themselves. We've seen them get so close to some of these opportunities. They just don't have the same consistency.
Oh man, they had a great opportunity right there, but it didn't quite connect over to Nest. They are bringing on the pressure now. We're going to see if it might just be a little bit too little too late as the ball heads back into the hands of Solar, going for another final pass to wrap up the round. And Dragger's got the ball now, going for what might be a long shot, but the ball's going to hit the ground right there, bringing our round to a close. 5-0 for Solar and 3 rounds in a row for Solar.
I mean, yeah, 3 out of 5. They're going to be winning out the series. So congratulations to the Solar FS players. I'm sure they're very happy with the results they have received today. Unfortunate for the Meteorite players, they didn't quite get the wins they needed. And I was hoping to see at least one round go the way of Meteorite. It was so close. It was right on the edge there, Alpha. So I was a little sad to not see it. But hey, that just goes to showcase how well these teams are playing and how well, Solar FS has been playing themselves. I mean, let's check out some of these clips, right? Some great goals coming in from Meteorite. I think a couple of great saves. We saw Meteorite do so well in the first 2 rounds, really holding back this defense, really preventing them from getting any good shots. But, when you have so much offensive pressure coming out from Solar FS, I mean, what do you do, man? How do you hold it back? How do you prevent them from going in and getting some great shots? But, I mean, any standout things you'd taken away from today, Alpha?
When we're this early in the season, we usually see some pretty big skill gaps, and I don't really think this was one of those. These two teams definitely have the opportunity to see each other again as they go on later through the season. We might see some rematches coming through some challenges, and hopefully they start up something where they can both learn from each other and move forward with some things to practice on both sides.
Yeah, that's what I will say too. Because you have the cash, you have VODs. You can look back at this VOD review, see what you did right, see what you did wrong, go back to the practice arena, take some time with your team and say, hey, we didn't do so great this week, but hey, there's always next week and there's always the rest of the season. People forget we have a whole 12 weeks in the season. I think maybe 11 or something like that. I forgot the exact numbers, but we have a whole season to really work out and work with. So hopefully we can see these teams come back, maybe fight each other again, but I hope to see these two teams duke it out once more in the arena. But hey, before we sign out, I want to give some quick shout outs to, of course, another Axiom, one of my personal favorite sponsors, for providing us with the game we love and for supporting season 1 of VRML. And if you've not noticed already, quick shout out for anyone who wants to support this stream. You can sign up as a member for just $4.99 and you'll unlock a lot of cool perks. You get custom emojis, you drop your right in the chat, special loyalty badges, and of course member shout outs in the credits, and even member only live streams. So if you want to rep the community and get those extra perks, become a member today. And if you did enjoy the show, thanks for coming in here, and hopefully see us in another cast, and hopefully we see y'all in another VRML Orion Drift cast. If you're not aware, we do have 2 more casts going on tonight, one more at 9 p.m. Eastern. I believe that's gonna be a really big one. That's Serenium and IB, and then a little bit later at 10:30 p.m. EST, that'll be, I believe, Coffee and, do you remember the other team?
Oh, I don't. I have to look at it. But
yeah, it was Coffee and Blizzard OD. They'll be playing later on tonight. So if you want some more OD action, some more OD casts, come back in just an hour and come back just in an hour and a half after that for 2 more casts later on tonight. And of course, I'll be there. Yours truly will be there. Unfortunately, I think Alpha's only going to be on the later one, but I got a lot of casters coming in today because, of course, it's the beginning of the season. I got to train all these guys up. Got to make sure everyone's in good shape. So we're really good by the end of the season to have an amazing playoffs. But that is, between now and 12 weeks from now. So let's worry about that another time. But of course, thanks for coming on to the cast, and hopefully we'll see y'all later on tonight.
Orion Drift VRML is brought to you by Another Axiom, Helga, the esports manager. Thanks for watching VRML.